Yeah. Welcome to another edition of the Views from the Friend Zone podcast. It's your boy Real Talk More. Who I got in the building with me?
It's your boy Cliff Brockman now.
And this is Isaiah Icon Monroe.
Mr. Icon, thanks for being the guest, Happy Football Sunday, y'all. It's the first Sunday of the football year. A lot of good upsets so far. I'm a Giants fan. Go G-Man. Who's your teams?
I got Dallas tonight, winning by 10.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening.
I'm a Giants fan, more like Eli. Wherever he goes, I'm going.
Steady,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
steady Eddie.
To be honest with you, Peyton's my favorite player of all time, even though people criticize him. But I'm a G-man all day, you know what I'm saying? So, are you excited about tonight's game? Cowboys against the Giants?
Oh yeah, that's a victory for the Giants, right?
I believe so.
Something light.
Dallas by 10, sticking by it.
Dallas by 10, you know what I'm saying? I'm really excited because football Sunday is one of the best, times of the year. The weather's starting to cool up, you know what I'm saying? You're starting to think about what's your plans for the fall going into the winter. And relationship-wise, people start looking for that boo. Homeless dudes start looking for a big chick he can sleep at her crib, or ugly chick nobody's showing love. He gonna have a spot for the winter, so that in the spring he can be a slut again. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna get right into it. But Mr. Monroe, tell us more about yourself as far as like the things you got going on and your workouts, because the reason why I chose to have Mr. Monroe on the show is, not only you can see from his physique that he gets it in physical-wise, but he's such a positive dude. He's motivating. Like, you watch his videos and you're like, you know what? I got to do something different. You know what I'm saying? I think the hardest thing about getting in shape is everyone thinks that, you got to be so drastic. And that's why we fail a lot of times. I've been on crazy diets. I've done lost 100-something pounds and gained it back, because I do something that's, extreme, but I feel like, it's making those changes and being comfortable to making those changes. Because if you do something you can't stick with, that's why every new year, now people got resolutions and goals and stuff like that. Oh, I'm going to start back again next week or next month. You know what I'm saying? Because we kind of bite on things that we can't hold on to. But Mr. Monroe is going to talk to us about, the different things that he does, how he keeps in shape. So, let us know what you got going on.
Well, one, thank you for having me on the show.
Oh, no
I'm
doubt.
flat out excited to be here with you two. I would say what I have going on, a lot of trainers, fitness experts, quotes in the air, they push perfection. They push vanity. And the thing about working out, this is what I have going on, it's an emotional thing. It's one of those things that you can kind of fight through depression with.
Yeah.
So my main goal is not even really to train people. I will train people. But my main goal is to inspire those that are going through a tough time, maybe with their husband, with their wife, with their children. You just don't like the way you look. And so my thing is, get down and do 10 push-ups. Not because you're trying to be this machine, it's going to make you feel good. So if you start the day with 10 push-ups, you already made one achievement. Like, you starting your day off checking something off the checklist.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I have going on. So the Monroe Show is really about working out, using that to show people you could use this, one, to get your day started on the right track, and it just makes you feel good about yourself.
Cool. So, I'm going to get into it, as we go on an everyday show with several topics. The first topic I want to discuss is health in the black community, right? Because I feel like present company included, there's so many people who aren't in good shape in the black community, and there's so many different reasons why. But my first question to both of you guys is, why do you think obesity is so rampant in America, especially in the black community?
You want to go first?
Okay, I would say the reason why, I would go first with advertisement. So it's like a subtle approach. And whatever you see, you may not even be thinking about, let's say, a Big Mac. Let's go back, because, we're from the 80s. So a Big Mac, you're not thinking about it being a Big Mac, and then McDonald's, you see an advertisement, a billboard, or a commercial, and you're like, I haven't had a Big Mac in a while. So I think the biggest issue is advertisement and the subtle approach. It's like, if I keep nudging you, you're not even going to realize that you're at the edge of the cliff.
Yeah.
And by the time you realize it, you're already falling off the cliff.
Yeah.
So I think the biggest issue is advertisement.
Advertisement.
I think that's like number one.
What do you think?
To piggyback what Isaiah says, it's definitely advertising, but also everything is so cheap, right? Yeah. Creating the dollar menu, I think, destroyed the black community.
When it was my time, I was gonna say the biggest thing that made me gain the most weight is the dollar menu.
It's the dollar menu.
So instead of $5 getting a whole meal, I could get two burgers, chicken nuggets, a Frosty, fries.
To piggyback on the Moran show, what Moran said, it's the dollar menu. It's borderline disgusting. McTools, the
McTools,
the Wendy's.
We're not only attacking McDonald's, right? Because
no. Wendy's, the Pick 4. Yeah. It's one of those things.
Checkers, all of these
it's
things
one of those things in the black community, right? You got a side of $5, you could get Chinese food, McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King, where it's easy. It's easier to eat unhealthy.
And a salad is like $10.
Than to eat healthy.
You know what I'm saying? A salad is like $10.
Because when you eating healthy, everything's expensive, right? Yeah. So you might get something that's organic that might cost $13, $14. Now, if you get...
And you could do that once in a while, but it's hard to make that an everyday staple.
You get a 20-piece nugget, $4.99, and they might throw you something else in there.
Extra sauce.
So in the black community, some people, not to say everybody, some people only carry $10. $10 could go a long way through the day.
Yeah.
Sorry
to cut you. You know what else it is, too? We're, in the community, we're all about, like, flavor. Right, so we're pouring on tons of seasoning, extra sauce. You know, so it's like all those seasonings, the sodium, the sugar, those hidden sugars. It's all on the plate, and as long as it tastes good, we on it. And I want seconds and thirds, and we're taught to never don't waste no food. Don't you waste no food, boy.
That's another thing that I'm gonna be honest that kills me. Is just like, you know, sometimes I would know that I'm full, but I have food. And then I'll just finish it because I still have food there, even though I'm satisfied. You know what I'm saying? Like you're taught not to waste food.
Yeah.
Especially food is scarce. You know, food is hard to come by for some. So another thing that, you know, you bring up a lot of times I see in social media that I think is cool that a lot of people don't realize is you'd say sugar is a drug. People don't understand how bad sugar is and the abuse of sugar. Like, I think sugar probably kills more people than crack.
Absolutely.
Any of the hard drugs that, you know, we say no to drugs, but we're pushed on sugar everywhere we go.
Yeah. Sugar, they did a study that sugar actually has the same effect, or if not even more powerful than heroin.
As addictive
Yeah, they used some lab rats, and
That's
they had a
interesting.
lab rat that had sugar, and they had a lab rat that had heroin. They both were high, and they put them on a hot plate to see how fast they react to it, and they both had the same reaction time. High off of sugar.
Wow. So, you know, I also think, and maybe you guys could, you know, tell me if you agree or not, I think we're also kind of almost pre-genetically exposed to, like, being obese because of just even how coming to this country, coming from, you know, our islands as far as, like, in the slavery component, we were fed scraps. You know what I'm saying? That's why we eat chitlins and we eat, like, you know, the parts of animals that most people won't eat or other cultures don't eat. We make bomb-ass soups out of them. We fry them up. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a mixture of certain things. So it's just like, you know, even culturally, you know, we're brought up just eating so many things that are just not good. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I'm not saying eating meat is bad and stuff like that, but just the, you know, the way that we eat our foods, the portions that we eat our food. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what's a big thing that causes obesity as well. You know what I'm saying? So what other factors you think are contributing to black people having a high rate of obesity and, you know, the illnesses that come from obesity?
I believe, in my opinion, it's also what we glorify, right? So let's just use women, for example. Black men tend to like really thick women. So a woman walks around and she has all this extra going on. I'm not losing no weight. Look how much attention I'm getting. 300 likes if I just poke it out a little bit.
That's a fact.
Now, in other communities and other ethnicities, they're eating 10 salads a day. Why? Because those men won't even look at them if they don't got a V line.
That's a strong.
But us, we don't care about no butt and gut. That's what we want. We want butt and gut.
That's true.
That's it.
Yo,
Yeah.
if you got a fatty and titty,
We
we'll
own
take
it.
that little
Yeah.
gut. We'll
That-
take that
take
little
the little
extra.
pouch,
You know
that
stretch
that
marks,
booty
yeah.
doing the hood, it's all good. It's all good. But no, you made a strong point about that. Like, and that's the problem. Social media sometimes make it feel like it's okay to be big, right? For men and women.
Well, I don't mean to cut you off, but it's any big person, like me being a big person. I know it's not healthy to be big, right? But I think there's a movement more to have people not be shamed for who they are, but to actually help. I don't think people are bigging up being big,
No.
like big and beautiful. Big,
No,
hear me
no,
out. Being big and beautiful, I think is promoted as a confidence thing to not have these people suffer from depression, for them to feel good about themselves. But people know that being really big, like my size, is not healthy.
No, that's not true.
Okay.
I'm gonna explain, right? Because now a girl, and like you said, in the black community, big butt, big titties, that's what it is. 400 likes, 500 likes, what you call it. A girl being 5'2", 200 pounds, it's dangerous.
Very dangerous.
It's dangerous, right? It's dangerous.
That's morbidly obese.
Yeah, but listen, if she's 5'2", 200 pounds, big butt, big titties, and she's on Insta, now all of a sudden she's an Instagram model.
No, she is.
Because she has 1,000 likes.
I'm not sure there's that many 5'2", 200 pounds
listen,
Instagram
No,
models.
listen.
They're out there.
Listen, if you go on Instagram, there's about these girls be 5'4", 5'3", 5'4", 215 pounds, glorifying it because they got 3,000 likes.
And then they wear the waist trainer to make it look slim.
Yeah,
Everything's going downhill.
they become models. They're booking parties. They're promoting stuff. Listen, being 5'3" and 215 pounds is not a good look. You're in a downhill. You're in a downhill. Period.
a bad situation.
But social media right now is glorifying and giving it that thumbs up. So everybody feel like, why I gotta lose weight? I'm sexy.
That's true.
If you don't listen,
I gotta disagree.
No,
with you.
I
think thickness is glorified.
But let me explain.
But not the unhealthy.
Let me explain. Trust me.
You gotta give him a chance too. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay, I'm definitely gonna give him a chance. What I'm saying is, if you go on social media right now, you can see about 40 girls that's 200 pounds plus. They're curvy and they're unhealthy.
Well, let me just say this first, for those that are listening. Everybody's beautiful in their own way, right?
Yeah.
If you like BBWs, that's your thing. If you like the size 2,
Shout out
that's
to
your
the
thing.
BBWs. I love
You
them
like
too.
the BBWs?
BBWs
I like a little
need love
extra,
too.
but real quick, it's funny that you think like guys that are fit, they want a fit woman. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really necessarily want a woman that's in tip-top shape. I kind of want a little extra love handles.
Yeah.
That's another story though. But what else? What you were
Now
saying
you can
about-
talk that talk because
I
we
could
talk
talk?
that. Yeah, we talk that
Yeah,
talk.
we talk- yeah.
So I mean, don't get it twisted. The human body is beautiful. Women, their bodies are beautiful in all shapes and sizes. I just personally will want someone that may have something extra. Not a BBW, but like a little extra to grab. I'm not against that at all.
I mean, that's a whole nother show, but even
Yeah.
the classification of BBW, there's ranges to it. Like,
That's
there's
true.
levels
Yeah,
to the
right.
BBW. You know what I'm saying? So, let me move on further in this topic. How can we eat healthy and afford it? Because, like you said, the organic, the natural, a lot of these products are like through the roof. Like, you try to eat healthy, and you have to add an extra $200-300 a month to your budget compared to eating fast and cheap. So how can we eat healthy and afford it, especially those whose pockets are limited?
So what I would say is, there's levels to everything. So when you're eating bad, that could be really expensive too. There's not a dollar menu everywhere. If you go, say you go to Sarah Beth's, the breakfast spot in the city, that's an expensive place. All the food's not good there either. So it depends on what supermarket you're going to. If you go to a farmer's market, you can go there with $20 and really come out like a champ. But if you go into Whole Foods, you may want to bring your whole check. So it just kind of depends on where you go. Because I've shopped for healthy food and I've spent $10 and I'm coming off pretty good. So it really depends on where you go. If you go to Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, one of those places, you're going to spend a lot of money. But if you're catching the farmer's market, you'll be okay.
What do you think? How can we eat healthy and afford it?
It's like you said, you sometimes doing your research what supermarkets is offering certain things, and also you might can meal prep through the week and buy in bulk. You know, certain places sell bulks of stuff where you can buy and cook for the week, where it's gonna be more efficient. Than you'd be surprised. On average, you could spend $100 every week on just food.
Yeah.
On food,
sometimes more than
because
that.
if you don't meal prep and organize with it, so it's about doing your research. You know, right now it's good to go on the internet and see where you can go to shop cheap. Trader Joe's is a good spot. Trader Joe's got a good spot.
That's definitely a good spot where you could buy things that are affordable
and also it's about doing your research.
Yeah.
Like Gon said, it's about doing your research and just telling yourself in the beginning of the week, this is my budget. I'm only spending $50. So if you do that, you'll have a list of what kind of food you want to buy that's going to add up to $50. You know you can't get four big chickens if that's going to come out to $44. Then you down to $6. Then you
see that's the hustle also with the the fast food being fast, being convenient, fast, not good, cheap.
Yeah.
A lot of times, healthier choices, like you said, takes the planning, takes the thinking, and that for us sometimes isn't an option. Sometimes you're working 2 jobs, so it's just like it's easy. It's 2 a.m. I'm just coming home. I gotta be at my next job in a couple hours. Let me just grab a McChicken. Let me just grab something real quick and stuff like that. So you're saying meal prepping. Also researching certain supermarkets like Trader Joe's. Just doing your research on the internet. Right now, anytime you could Google something, stuff comes up. That's the good thing about social media now. Like we really don't have no excuse to really not to try to care and try to want to be in shape. Right? I struggle with it every week. 4 days out of the week, Monday through Thursday, I can eat salad. Once Friday come around, Saturday,
that
Sunday
mindset,
might be a killer.
That mindset.
You used to have Haagen-Dazs Sundays. I remember.
Haagen-Dazs Sundays, but that was my thing. But I wouldn't go through the whole week with it. It's just about doing your research. I think.
I would say one thing you want to have a game plan. One thing about when you were in high school or college, they gave you a syllabus, you had a schedule, and that's when you were most efficient, right? So now if you're a person that you're not sure what you're gonna do when you go to a supermarket or when you go out to eat, know what you're gonna order before you get there. Know what you're gonna get when you go to the supermarket. It's hard, but don't deviate. Let me go down aisle 6 to see what they got. They got Frosted Flakes, they got Kool-Aid, they got everything you don't want. Don't go down that aisle.
That's why I don't go with my wife food shopping, because I'm gonna want these treats and stuff like that. I let her make the decision, so it eliminates me going out of the way and getting things that I shouldn't have. So as someone, because you share a lot of your clean meals that you prepare and stuff like that, could you just provide like one example of a good tasting, clean, quick, cheap meal that's
cheap?
Yeah.
Wow.
Even if it's not cheap, but healthy,
budget
easy
friendly.
to prepare,
Budget friendly. Yeah.
So for breakfast, I'm an egg person. I love eggs. So you can do eggs or egg whites with avocado and maybe like 3 slices of bacon with some cheddar cheese. You can put a little green on the side, like some spinach omelet. That's a great breakfast.
Okay.
Avocados can be a little expensive if they're out of season.
Yeah.
Because you have the Haas and you have the California. There's
Yeah.
different types of avocados. For lunch, you can have some olives. You can have sauteed chicken. You could have, even if you fry chicken, you could fry it like with, you dip it in like crunched up pork rinds instead of like flour. You can also fry like that as well.
Yeah.
Tuna salad, spinach, kale. There's different ways to lose weight. So you have the ketogenic diet, you have paleo, you have carb cycling. So if you're a carb cycler, then you got the brown rice. Then you have,
Can you, because not everyone is in depth or knowledgeable, what is carb cycling? Because I'm not even sure.
So when you carb cycle, you can go high, low, high, low. So low would be less than, let's say, 50 grams of carbs, or 30 grams of carbs, or 10 grams of carbs, depending on what your goal is for the day. So that day, you're going less than 30 grams of carbs. Then the next day, you'll go, let's say 150, right? And you're going up and down.
So that 150 day, would that be like a workout day where you're going to need more?
Day, yeah.
Okay.
It'd be a workout day. If your main fuel source is carbs. So you have two different fuel sources. I'm not going to get too deep into it, but when the one fuel source you have is carbs, and the other fuel source you have is fat.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you see people that's like kind of like crashing, they have a carb fuel source. So let's say you want to look at it more like a gas tank. When you're gassing off of carbs, you have 2,000 calories to work with, right? When you're gassing off of fat, you have up to 40,000. So that's why you see people that are eating ketogenic diet, high fat, low carbs, moderate protein. They can go a long time without eating like those long fasts, because their body is in a fat burning mode. But when you're burning carbs, you're always hungry. If that makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense. So the next question, last question on this topic I want to ask is, what's great ways to get in shape if you're not a gym person? Like for me, I like to go on walks because it's low impact on my body, low pain and stuff like that. The gym is motivating, but to me, as someone my size, I'll go to the gym, I have a good workout, and then I'll have an experience of, you see someone laughing at you. You're not being self-conscious, like you literally seen that. And it's just like, you're supposed to not care, but it affects you. It affects you, the energy and the approach you had to your workouts. So then it kind of makes you a little reluctant to go to the gym. I'm not speaking for everyone. I'm speaking for myself particularly. So what's great ways to get in shape if you're not a gym person? Because I see you do a lot of workouts that's not necessarily in the gym.
It's funny. I haven't actually been in a gym since March. I've been outside a lot more, at home, because I don't necessarily want to be in a gym as far as lifting weights. I'm trying to like kind of stream down. But as far as getting in shape at home, because a lot of people do have that issue where they feel self-conscious and people are looking at me. Then you got the guys that are flexing in the mirror. There's just so much going on in the gym.
The meatheads. The meatheads make you kind of feel like.
And then, it's just a bit much. So a great way to get in shape at home, if let's say you're not in the greatest of shape, you can't move that well, get a stopwatch and just put 5 minutes. Matter of fact, get your favorite song, right? I've been listening to.
I love to work out the songs.
Yeah, get a song.
It'll trick me to go longer because I like the playlist.
Yeah. So let's say there's 3 verses, right? So the first verse, you're running in place, and now every time the hook comes on, you're gonna do a certain move. Now the hook is gonna be a tough move because the hook is never really long.
Yeah.
So let's say tug jumps or a burpee or something, or a modified burpee where you just go down to the ground and stand back up. You do that for the hook. So then the second verse, let's say you want to do push-ups, right?
Yeah.
And you do push-ups for the second verse, and then you go back to the burpees, to the hook. And then the third verse, let's say you want to do high knees or jumping jacks or something to that nature.
Yeah.
And then the bridge and the end of the song, you just tough it out and finish with the burpees. And a song is about 3 minutes 26 seconds or 4 minutes 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And it's a great start. And one thing I always tell people that I've trained, that I work with, just start. So whatever you have to do, if it's running, just take the first step. Because then one step turns to 10. If it's push-ups, just do the first push-up. Your arms are going to start creaking if you're a little older. It may hurt, but just do the first one. And if you want to quit after the first one, I'm not advocating that you quit, but I am also realistic. You may want to quit, but guess what? Then tomorrow, do it again.
Build upon
it.
Yeah.
Because you may get 2 push-ups. So if all you could do is 2 push-ups or 2 jumping jacks, this is what I want you to do. Do the 2 push-ups, take a 2-minute break, do 2 more, and then that's your set. 2 push-ups.
I'm glad you said. I'm gonna get your input. I'm glad you said that because a lot of times people quit because they're following the direction of someone who's a seasoned veteran. So I go watch these videos and I'm just like, I can't do that. I can't do this. I can't do that. And it kind of gives you like, F it, I'm not going to do anything.
Yeah.
But the key is just to try to be active. That's what I'm learning. To like, you know what? Okay, I mean, I feel like doing a whole planned routine, but let me just get out and walk. Let me just be active. What are the kind of things you do to like get in shape, not necessarily in the gym?
Like he said, I like listening to music. Dancing is a great way to get in shape. So if you're not a gym person, and you want to get in shape, you don't want to go to the gym, go dancing out for 2-3 times a week. You might not be able to do it throughout the week when you're working, but maybe on a Friday, Saturday, hit up a couple spots, get a couple of hours, really dance, because that'll be your cardio if you're not a gym person. And also, I think what's important is you can look at certain videos to get motivation, right? So when you're at home, you can YouTube something or have some motivation thing. And I think it's important to do like a food journal and also a journal for a workout.
Journal, yeah.
Because when you write things down, it's good for you to remember things and it's going to build. Like,
And it keeps you honest. You kind of feel like, yo, look what I was doing. I was bugging out.
Honest. And then also, it's like this. Like he said, you can't start off lifting 325.
It doesn't work.
You
like
know, every week you got to build yourself. For example, when we went on vacation, I was showing you little workouts you can do.
Yeah.
Every day you got to shock your body because your body's not going to work the same every day. And the thing about me is when I work out or I do a certain thing, I don't care if the kid is 30. I seen somebody in high school, 17-year-old, doing a workout. I went up to him and I said, yo, can you show me that? What's going on? Because I've never seen that. And, you know, I'm in the gym in and out all the time. But, it's about asking people. So knowledge is key, right? So when you ask, you get better. So certain things you can do, even at home. You can probably Facebook somebody and message what you call and say, listen, you know, I'm not a gym person. You in good shape. Can you just send me a couple things? He might charge you. He might just say, you know what? I want to help.
Yeah.
That's it.
I have a great tip. So for the people, fathers and mothers that have babies, listen, the baby wants to be held, right? You want to work out.
That's a
Pick
fact.
the baby up, do some curls, do some squat. Hold the baby and start squatting. Hold the baby, and it's a workout. The baby's having a blast. You're working out. You're knocking out two birds with one stone, right?
That's true.
Nothing to.
Yeah.
Get the gallon of milk. Get the gallon of water. If you got both, put one in one hand. And just start curling. When I was at Equinox as a trainer, the one thing that they taught me that changed my life was it's not fitness, it's movement. So that's the one thing I want to really tell people.
Yeah.
Move your body. If you just walk down the block, come back home, do it for a week, and then next week walk 2 blocks. And if you could do a light little run from this car to 2 cars down, that's your workout.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to start with a marathon.
And I think that's key that you guys are saying that is movement, because we're living in a society in a time that we have sedentary work and then we have sedentary habits. I think even though it's cool, it's made us, we have a lot more content of entertainment, with the Netflix binges and stuff like that. Like me and my wife, we're behind on Power. So we was on season 3 coming into the weekend, and now we're on season. Because I wasn't into it like that. So now we're on season 4, episode 8.
And he's a spoiler alert too. Not when he's behind.
He's one of those?
He's one of
I
those.
wasn't spoiling.
And
Because
he's a
social
spoiler
media
alert.
people be sending things.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
And he's a spoiler
So you don't know
alert.
what happened in the season finale?
No.
I can tell you right
no,
now.
no,
You sure?
you should.
I should tell him, right?
You should,
No,
because
no, no,
he
I
I can tell you what
he
happened.
likes to do
if
that.
you want it.
So we're going to move on, right? So now we're going to move on to the topic of looking for love. And, we're both part of a group called The Network.
Yeah.
And, there's all different kind of things. And one of the questions I had asked a girl when they did a post about something, like ask a girl a question, I'm just like, where do people nowadays go to meet people if you're not in the clubs, if you're not part of that scene? Like, if you don't want to be in the scene, like, where do people meet each other, right? So this topic is called Looking for Love. The first question is, where is the best place to look for love in 2017? I'll start with you, and then we'll go to you.
Honestly, I would say there's 2 places. One, don't look for it, and it'll just fall upon you. So what I mean by that, let's say you're going to, I'm saying GNC, right, because it's my health, but GNC or Macy's, and you at the cash register, or you see a woman that she's just happened to be in the same aisle as you. You catch eye contact, shoot your shot, then see what happens. If you try to get her number and she says no, you don't have a number anyway, so just shoot your shot. That's 1. 2, me personally, I'm a huge advocate for online dating. People don't like it, but I would say I love it because
that's one of the topics we're going to get further in, but finish that point.
All right, so basically it's like it's like a catalog.
Yeah.
I don't have to what I want. Okay, I want someone that's tall. I want kind of brown. I want to see her body. As long as you're not getting catfished.
That's another topic.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So all right.
No.
All right.
I'm glad you had these points because
Yeah.
it speaks to what we want to talk about. But go ahead.
So just to make it quick, online dating. It's a catalog. You know what you want. You go to the catalog. You go to what you like, and just stick to that, and you're going to get what you want. You just got. It's a numbers game. It sounds terrible, but it's the truth. With
What
online
about
dating.
you? What do you think are the best places to look for love in 2017?
I think the best places to look for love is definitely online dating. To piggyback what Isaiah said, it's online dating, and also, I feel like you can meet some good people at social events. If you're not into that, if you're not into that field, you were saying though.
Well, like because it's just like people growing up or in the 90s, even nowadays, people always think I gotta go to the club to go meet somebody.
But you know
I
what?
gotta be
Also,
in a popping scenery to meet somebody.
you don't have to be in popping. Like I said, the internet now, 2017. If you really want to be successful, use the internet as a tool, and you could take off because you could go to game nights. You know,
I love
you
that.
could go to church functions where they go to set up plays and stuff. It's so much poetry night. You could go to stuff. Everybody's not in the club. Everybody don't want to be popping bottles and everything. I get it. I'm even at that age where I'm like, I'm pulling back. I'm pulling back.
I mean, obviously, I'm married, so I'm not looking for someone. But as far as that social, that social arena, I would love if there was more like consistent game nights,
game nights.
There's an app called Meetup. It's called Meetup. It's an app, and you just go on it, and it tells you all the things that happen.
Yeah,
that's
pretty
great.
cool.
And also,
I just want to be more social and not necessarily stagnant and not doing things.
And this might sound crazy, but everybody should try it one time. Speed dating.
Yeah.
Really?
Speed dating.
You
Why
did it
not?
before?
Why not? I did it when I wasn't married. So I did it when I wasn't
This
married.
happened a while ago, right?
Long time ago. I mean, it was cool. It was something. It was something I experienced, and it was.
The reason why this is critical to me because I've told this story before in the past. I met my wife because my best friend Sensei. Shout out to Sensei. Sensei's not in today because Sensei had to take care of some of his military obligations. But his ex-wife's co-worker. His ex-wife is my wife's co-worker, and that's how I was introduced to her. But I always think to myself, I'm not a big in the club person. Like, how else would I have been able to meet my spouse if it wasn't for, that introduction? We're going to talk about the social media thing, but I think another good thing that people, to piggyback with what you're saying, is about the shoot the shot kind of thing. I think nowadays people, especially in New York, walk around with that negative energy, so it don't allow you to meet people. Like, to me, I walk around and I try my best to smile at people. You know what I'm saying? You can't look at people and stare, but have that approachable demeanor, right? Because a lot of times we block blessings, or we block, quote unquote, meeting people because we're walking around with a negative energy. New York has the default negative energy. You're like, "What up, ma? Oh, you can't talk? F you then," right?
Yeah.
Because it's just the
Automatic.
the automatic negative energy. It's not the woman's fault, you know what I'm saying? Because men walk around, not being inviting as well, so they just hit chicks, hit females with the cheap. Hey, what up, ma? Just say, if it don't work out, cool. And why? Because we're walking around not having that inviting energy. So that's another roadblock for people meeting people in 2017. So the next question is, because you guys both said online dating is like one of the best ways to meet people in this day and age, right? So the question is, though, because before my wife, I met a couple people online, cool and stuff like that. But it's sort of like, people online present a representative that they want you to know. Like me, there's been a couple of times that I was kicking with a female short. I had to stop saying female. People hate when you say female. I was kicking it with a woman online, and she had a couple of pictures up, and it was angle pictures and stuff like that. So you don't really get to see the whole scenery. You don't want to be shallow and say, okay, I'm not going to keep getting to know this person because they only put out a certain image. But then you always get that question mark, right?
You have to, though.
So with all the catfishing and fronting for the gram, is it possible to find love online? Because a lot of times you get these, like I always tell people, if you look at 4 profile pictures of a female and it's only headshots and shoulders, she's probably a big girl. She's probably not in shape. There's probably something that she's trying to hide. So with all the screening and the filters, and now one of the most annoying things to me now is the Snapchat filters. Everybody got a cat and a nose and a dog and a looking and the crown. So you don't get to see people's regular pictures. You see all these filters.
Yeah.
Fake eye colors because of the filters. So with the catfishing and the fronting for the social media, how can you truly meet someone natural or someone that you want to get with online?
I'll go first on this one.
Yeah.
I definitely think you can, right? So even with the catfish and what all that's what's going on, what you do is the proper way to do it is you got to put that person out of their comfort zone. You got to do something out of the norm. That's when you're gonna. That's when you're gonna know. Okay, this is not going. It's not gonna move on forward because if that person is in the club, if all his pictures or female or male is in the club all the time, he's looking like this, he's looking like that, he's doing this, whatever. You might have to do something that, our first date or vice men or women, we're going to the library, pick out a book, read some information to him, see where his head is at, because then
that's completely different.
You know why you got to put somebody outside of the comfort zone because that's gonna know you're gonna find out who's that person is, because everybody's pretending. If you look at everybody's social media, everybody got money. Everybody's rich. Everybody's rich. But everybody don't got oil money. A lot of people, a lot of people's using EBT out here, but they acting. It's so easy to borrow 3 people's stuff and act like that. So what you got to do, you got to put them outside of their comfort zone. Go outside of the box. So if you got that Instagram model, she's always taking pictures with bottle service. She's with all these popping things. She's taking a picture with Fab. She's taking a picture with Dave E. She's doing this, whatever. Boom. Take her to the library.
See if she can read.
See if she can read.
So, that's a good one. I know.
So Isaiah, you tell me with the catfishing and all that, how to effectively use online.
Wow. So I've never been catfished before. Right.
I've been catfished.
You've been catfished before?
I've been catfished in some weird situations.
Really? I want to see a picture. So you can send a picture to me. It's easy. You can still catfish someone with a picture. With FaceTime, Tango, all these different Facebook. Honestly, I want to talk to you live. And if you don't want to FaceTime me live, then that's a done deal.
Some women might say, it takes time for me to build up to the
It's going to take time for us to meet then, because I'm not going. I want to see that it's really you. And another thing to it, like you just said, if every picture is glamorous, let me get a picture with you in your head wrap. Let me get you a picture with you in your bonnet or just a ponytail.
People don't want to send that until they already know they got you in their links.
I just because it's so crazy getting catfished. If you're really feeling me and you're really interested in me, then just show me a regular picture.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it. But if you don't, then it's like you're not the real deal anyway, so you don't even want to waste your time. So it's kind of like, oh, you know what? I'm going to meet you anyway, just see how you look. No, I'm not going to meet you, because I've been catfished. Matter of fact, I was catfished one time. I was catfished. She was in a wheelchair, and she had the arm, she had... I'm not making fun of her.
Listen, we're not laughing at people with wheelchairs
or
people with deformities and stuff like that. But it's like, it's tough to get surprised with that, right?
It was crazy.
You kind of let's keep it real. Like me, I'm a big dude, so I never would present like the hiding that I'm a big dude. Like, show me who you are. Let's not waste each other's time, because don't spend all this time building me up to something and then I get something else. Then it's just that we both wasted each other's time. So if you have the captain, Hook or something like that, you know what I'm saying? Like the scary movie, the guy with the little arm. You kind of got to let it be known.
Or the DJ Paul from 666 Mafia.
I have a good quick story. Yeah. So I was it was online dating, and she was talking that talk. Come see me. It was a chat line. Wow, remember the chat line?
Oh yeah.
My boy.
Those are
Shout
days.
out to my boy Chris. My boy Chris was a murderer on the chat lines.
Those are days when you was 15, 16 with no money.
I think I told you
it was
the story.
The Ravens. I forgot the names of all of them.
So she was talking that talk. Come meet me in Brooklyn. Brevoy Projects, which is rough over there.
Call me a punk or not, I don't meet females in the projects. I just don't.
I was on a mission.
Let's get to another story.
Neutral location. I'll drop you off if we had the vibe and stuff like that. But to me, it's just like, the project dudes hate letting another dude from another hood come pick up their females and stuff. It's 52 dudes in the front, and it's sort of like, football practice trying to go through that line to go meet the female. But go ahead.
Well, I was about 19 years old. I had just lost my virginity, and I was on the chase, right? So she said, "Come through," and I went over there. She opened the door, and I looked, and it was a dude. He had the cowboy hat on, the Daisy Dukes. It was crazy. It was crazy. This is Views from the Friend Zone, right?
Views from the Friend Zone. Isaiah, please talk into the mic.
No, it was wild. I was just like, he was like, "Do you want something to drink?" I was like, "No."
That's how you get killed, though.
It was crazy.
This is a complete sidebar, but Bobby Valentino got caught up with a transsexual, and he quote unquote said that he was led to believe it was somebody else, and when he got there, it was a different story, and that's how he got videotaped.
Yeah,
I don't believe it.
This is a Chapman era, so I don't. Was it? Oh, he.
No. I don't. That's his story. So if that's his story, you can stick it to. But the chat line was dangerous.
It was dangerous,
because
man.
Anybody could be anything.
Literally, and that was my last experience.
Yo, that's so crazy. But that could get you. It makes noise. But that could get you snatched up, though. You know what I'm saying? That's the wrong way.
It was crazy. I saw my boy outside, and I told him what happened. He was like, "Oh, that was a dude that just drugged somebody last week. What he did was he was drugging people and raping them." I was like, "Yo, it's crazy." Wow, I never went on the chat line again.
But you know what? That's crazy. To me, my like, I've had catfish situations, but the way that I would approach online dating, I always got a disclaimer. I'm not out here on Plenty of Fish or Meetup or whatever. But to me, it's just like, what's going to make me want to pursue further is not the nice pictures, because nice pictures are a dime a dozen, stuff like that. I look at your hobbies and I see what's interesting to me, right? Like for me and my wife, after the introduction was from my boy, gave me the number, and then I was in a bad place. I just stopped, dealing with another female. I was just like, I'm not sure if I want to be dating nothing serious. I'm gonna try to see if I can get as much money as possible out here, because I was still young. But we started talking, and then the interesting thing, she said she was a big Batman fan, and I'm a huge Batman fan. And then I started talking to her about it, and then she gave me like a Batman quiz about different things, and then we was just laughing and joking about how much we shared that, and that was our bond thing. I was like, that wasn't usual. How many times you meet a woman and it's just like, y'all bonding off of like comics or something like that, So to me, it's just like on the social, when you're going through like the Tinders and things like that, you swipe left and stuff like that. You got to find the hobbies, the things that draw your interest, because it's going to be a lot of females with a nice bra that show you the boobs, or that certain dress, or certain jeans that show that butt, and then you pull it down, then you see it's like a body wrap and butt pads.
Butt pads. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, the butt pads is crazy. Okay. Yeah.
So the next question is going to be, as far as looking for love, do you think we spend too much time looking for love in the wrong places, like the club or social media? Why do so many people feel there are no good men or good women out there? Because I always hear that. I always hear people say, especially women, saying there's no good men out here. So why do you think people feel that way? Are we looking for love, or spending too much time in the wrong places looking for love?
I'll go first on that question. I think it's because a lot of times people are not willing to go outside of their comfort zone, right? When you're not willing to go out of your comfort zone, you only gonna find and attract certain dudes or certain people. If you go into the club all the time, if you popping bottles all the time, if you're looking for the next Dipset, that's the only No, I'm not.
He's gonna dip.
Yeah. You only gonna find that person. But if you're trying to find somebody that, you know what, I want him to be my baby father. I want to have a husband. I want also us to buy a house together. I want us to build a future. Go to church. You might meet a nice
What if you're
brother
not
in church.
religious? What if you're
It's
not
not.
religious?
Listen, church is not about just being religious.
Yeah.
Church sometimes it's. You don't go to church all the time for the preacher. It's a lot of things going on in church.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
about the
that's
There's snakes in church.
yeah,
too, though.
but it's about the
Biggest things.
message and foundation, right? Because every time you go, sometimes it's crazy when you go, if you feel like they're talking to you of a certain
Yeah, that's
scenarios.
true, yeah.
So
Hit the spot.
you gotta go outside of your comfort zone. People are so comfortable to saying, "Nah." Chicks always say, "Oh, I want a good dude. I want this, whatever." But you keep trying to date Young Jeezy. Young Jeezy don't want that commitment with you all the time. Go outside of your comfort zone.
I always say that.
Date somebody that you know normally you wouldn't date, and give it a try, give it a shot. When you do that, you could find love.
What about you?
One, I want to say I totally agree with you. I'm gonna go a totally different direction though.
Okay.
One, if you can't find a good woman or a good man, you really gotta look in the mirror for a moment, and because what's the common denominator? Not every man is bad. Not every woman is bad.
That's a fact.
So you need to do some self-reflection, some self-assessment, and be honest with yourself. You do have a bad attitude. You think you know everything. You are too judgmental. That's the first step. Two, what energy are you giving off?
Yeah.
Have you forgiven yourself of certain situations you went through? Let's say you were in a domestic violence kind of,
Situation, yeah.
domestic situation where you were getting beat,
Oh,
and
wow.
you blamed yourself, right? Oh, why did he beat me? Why did she beat me? Because
And then now you could be carrying those
now you're
bags
carrying this
into
baggage,
every-
right? And you may meet Prince Charming. I mean, this guy or this woman is everything God has sent for you,
But the
right?
bags are
But the
preventing
bags
you.
is just there. It's kind of like sandbags in war.
Yeah.
You know, you're in the bunker,
Yeah.
and you look over the sandbag. Your sandbag is so high, you can't even see the
You can't make
field.
good assessment.
Yeah.
So
No, finish what you were
So
going to say.
just to finish, I just want to say, the first step really is forgive yourself, love yourself fully. Matter of fact, take yourself on a couple of dates and see if you're the common denominator, maybe you need to change what's going on.
I agree with both of what you guys were saying in different aspects. I feel a lot of times we keep fishing in the same pool and expect to catch different fish.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so be
It's not
with both
gonna
of
happen.
what you're
It's
saying.
not gonna
Like,
happen.
Yeah.
like if I continue to be like, you know what, I'm looking for somebody special, and I keep going to the same
Same spot,
places,
yeah.
doing the same things, or even dealing with the same circles, I'm gonna kind of find like-minded people or like-minded agendas. So I feel like the reason why we feel so many times there's not a lot of good women out there, a lot of good men out there, is because, like you said, we're not stepping outside of our box.
Our comfort zone.
We're staying in our comfort zone.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to find that many unique different things outside of just your regular comfort zone. I have a homegirl who's just like, cute, sweet, all that stuff, and she has a real trouble finding a good man. And I'm just like, your exposure is limited. You go to work, you go home, you go to church, and that's it. I mean, sometimes like you said, you can find somebody, special in church, but at the same time, sometimes you don't have the mindset in church. Like, I always feel awkward when I see a woman wearing a tight dress that got a fatty in church, because I'm like, yo,
What's
I
going
shouldn't,
on
I shouldn't have that distraction in church kind of thing. So sometimes you might not at church with the mentality to find somebody special, but sometimes there's activities going on that
Yeah.
you could branch off and find it. I feel like we have to really stop swimming in the same pool,
That's what I'm
expecting to
saying.
find different
Go outside
fish,
of your
different cats.
go outside of your
Outside
comfort
your
zone.
comfort
Yeah.
zone. And then find, like you said, the meetups and stuff like that. Maybe look for people who share similar interests to you, and not necessarily look for certain aesthetics or how certain people look.
And I would say this real quick, because I struggle with this. Stop looking for perfection. It doesn't exist. My aunt said the realest thing to me. She said to me, you're going to deal with somebody's shit. You just got to pick who shit you're going to deal with. Everybody
That's a
comes
fact.
with some shit.
That's a fact.
That's a
He's an asshole. He's a jerk. He's broke. What are you going to deal with? You pick what you're going to deal with. You hold their hand, lock arms. You're going to ride it out. Period.
And before we go to the next question, I just want to talk about it. You can't be dealing with the same dudes or females you were dealing with in your 20s, your 30s, and 40s, right? Every generation, no, real
Yeah,
talk.
that's
Every
true.
generation, you got to move on. I'll put my age out there. I'm 32. Even if I was single right now, I'm a married man. Even if I was single, I would not deal with a 21-year-old because the mindset is different. She, you not,
Find
no,
someone
no,
with
no.
experiences
You
that
find
can
an
relate.
experience which called the mindset is different. At 32, I should be dealing with somebody 32 and older, or at least somebody
Wait,
30,
27?
20. Or
I think if you
20
weren't in high school together,
Anyway, but
that's
anyway,
fine.
somewhere close.
So a
You-
4-year gap.
You
I
cannot,
think
you
in that
cannot
range.
be dealing with, if you're 30 in your 30s, dealing with somebody who's 19.
That's not
Because
gonna
you're not
work,
gonna
yeah.
find, you're not gonna
Nah,
find
nah.
that. And the same thing with somebody who's
headache.
40. You can't be 40 years old dealing with that 25-year-old boy or
Expecting-
female.
Expect him to be on your
and
level.
It's not
expect
gonna
to be
work.
your level just because he might bring something good to the table.
I think
Surround yourself around good energy around your age bracket.
Yeah,
There's nothing
that's
wrong
true.
with that.
I'm a believer in that.
that's I like all of those answers as far as like why we don't see good men, good women out there is because of the mindsets that we have. We have to change our mindset. So we're gonna move on to the last topic. The last topic is a little bit different from what we've been talking about so far, and it's gentrification, right? It's just like I seen an article the other day, and it was just saying how Dumbo, all of these communities that used to be considered black communities are no longer black communities. We no longer can afford to live there. We no longer have influences over there. And it's crazy because people who aren't from those communities come into these communities and they're safer in these communities
they are.
than we are. And we
That's
grew
true.
up in these neighborhoods, right?
Very true.
It's sort of like crime, goes around them and still hits you kind of thing. So my first question is, so many of our neighborhoods are no longer our neighborhoods. What do you think we can do to survive? Because I feel like it's almost like we're being pushed out of our neighborhoods. We can't afford to live in our neighborhoods. There's so many crazy things. So what can we do to survive in our neighborhoods? Go ahead.
Reach out, have town meetings, bring the people around each other to see what's going on. Also, communication. Because look what's going on in Harlem. They trying to change the whole Harlem up.
Harlem,
Harlem ain't Harlem anymore.
it's not Harlem.
They
125th Street is that one.
they trying to kick all the. Harlem has tradition, right?
Has culture.
Culture, everything. They trying to change
It's
the
about
whole
to go
Harlem
on.
up. Maybe people that live there for years, because somebody who's 67 years old, they can't just get up and move and go somewhere else. So have town meetings, organization groups, certain things you can do, and reach out, learn who's in charge of what area you live in. That's very important. Get involved. If you're not involved, you can't talk about it.
It's a fact.
When you say survive, are you talking as far as crime or as far as the financial?
As far as establishing a domain of somewhere we could live, somewhere we could call our own, right? Because it's just like you said, you use Harlem as an example. Downtown Brooklyn is another example.
East New York is like even East New York is starting to change.
Bed-Stuy,
That's like the
Bed-Stuy.
last of the.
no more.
Yeah, it's not.
Bushwick,
It's not,
Bed-Stuy,
yeah.
all
It's
of these
not, yeah.
traditional minority communities are no longer minority communities because things are so expensive. People are getting pushed out. So, what do you think as a community we can do to actually hold on to a neighborhood or find places where we can stay and grow in?
Yeah. So the one thing that I'm learning because I work with different people, wealthy people, and I look at one what they're reading, two like how they carry themselves, and the biggest thing that I've noticed that's the difference between our community and theirs is our value system. Like what do we value? And I think the
that's a
first
good point.
step is change your value system. And what I'm about to say, I'm not knocking this, but our value system in our community is what get a city job, right? That's like the cream of the crop. Get a city job. Their value system is lawyer, doctor, judge. They're creating movers and shakers. We're creating people that are just surviving. So if we just start creating more movers and shakers, it's gonna be a lot harder for them to just take over.
I agree with that. Agree what you're saying as far as our goals and stuff. But another thing, I have to take it one step further from what you're saying is, I have friends who have city jobs, like who are correctional officers or firemen, policemen, and stuff like that. They eventually do make good incomes. My thing is the value. What I agree with the value system is we don't value enough of buying property and starting businesses in our community. We value making as much money as possible to obtain perishable things. I'm guilty of it, jewelry, nice cars, and things of that nature. But we don't value enough of getting deeds, having property, so that we can establish communities and have it look and grow the same that we do. We always everybody got this hustle and grind mentality, but what are we hustling and grinding for? We have to change what we're hustling and grinding for. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to hustle and grind to make the community to a place where our kids could go to school there and really learn. You know what I'm saying?
And to piggyback what you're saying is also, but you know what it is? The system sometimes is not, I'm not going to say the system, but sometimes is designed where in our community, we don't work together, we work against each other.
That's true.
We compete.
So yeah, like I said, we don't work together, we work against each other, right? If I'm a neighbor with you for 20 years, what you call it, I'm not gonna look at it and say, you know what, maybe we could work together and start a movement to help everybody in the community. I'm well off. I'm gonna say to you, man, I don't give a fuck what he's doing. I don't care if he's down. You know that person's down and out. It could just take 2 minutes to reach out to say, you know what, yo, I see that you're having a hard time. What's going on?
You know, this is a quick one thing I noticed that they like you are totally right. One thing that other communities do when their value system is different, they team up together.
Working
right?
together, yeah.
They work together. So let's talk about living situation. Oh, instead of struggling and renting a room, it'll be 4 of them in one apartment on Lexington and 69th Street, and living with this, the doorman, and living it up, and they all paying $500.
And listen, that next thing you know, 2 years later, they all own houses.
That's
exactly
because they saving
They all
money.
that's the same bodega stuff, man.
Yeah.
30 of them live together,
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden,
they all have houses.
all
and
of
then
a
we take over the
sudden,
community.
they got a store and a house. You're like, how did you?
Yeah.
Because,
They work together.
and that further, confirms what I'm saying. The grind mentality, right? It's like, I know so many people who's working hard to save up money for a down payment on a fly ass car, but will be renting. There's nothing wrong with renting if you have to rent, but it's just like you're spending almost mortgage type money a month for this fly car, and at the end of the day, after 5 years, most cars are
Depreciate.
Forget the depreciation. It's like, you lose interest in that car. So now you're moving on to that next
Another bill.
venue.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't think we hustle and grind for that end goal. Like, I'm Caribbean. Some Caribbean families have the mentality like kids don't move out until they're ready to buy a house. Instead of I want to break out from my family to be renting, to never be able to do more than just rent. So, because we're coming close to the end, another question is, with rent being so expensive, right? Are we kind of being forced out of the city? Like, what can people do to be able to, like, find places to live and stay in that community? Because it's just like a 1-bedroom in Bed-Stuy is like $1,500, $1,700.
That's cheap.
You know what I'm saying? It's even more.
Yeah, it's
you know
more,
what I'm saying? And it's just like, that's insane. That's almost a mortgage for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So what can be done? Like, do you think it's like strategically being done, or is this that we're not stepping up to doing what we need to do?
I would say my answer is pretty brief. 'Cause I'm in the city every single day, and I'm not just out there. I'm really paying attention to what's going on. I would say this: either you move or you step your game up. I heard you say, I believe it was last week, 2 jobs, grinding, really pushing it to the limit. You can't be lazy and want to stay in New York City. That
New York City makes you grind.
You gotta grind. Like,
grind.
You want to stay here, you're going to have to work 2 or 3 jobs, or get you a trade that works, or go get a degree, not just a degree, but get a degree in a field that matters, where you're going to come out making a certain amount of money. That's my opinion.
Like you said, like me, I'm a firm believer in you got to work hard to get certain things, right? Like I got a lot of good stuff, nice car, nice this and what you I work hard for it. People ask you certain things and think you just got it because you was fortunate. If you know the hustle, but you got listen. In New York, you got to hustle hard. If you're not hustling hard, you're not gonna eat. You're gonna be left behind, and you're gonna be forced with that negative energy to not try to work with somebody to build yourself up and build that person up because you don't know how to do it. You gotta value work hard. It gotta be a system. You gotta grind because nobody's gonna give it to you.
All right, so this is gonna be the last question because we gotta wrap up. We're coming close to the end of time. Why aren't any black real estate groups or businesses being more active in our communities? I think that's one of the things that bother me so much. Is just like, you'll know people who's getting money, who has, the finances, but they never take a say. You know what? I'm going like Jay-Z. I love Jay-Z more for his business acumen than being an artist and stuff like that. Whereas this, we don't take pride in purchasing and owning neighborhoods. We kind of just like, we get that high money, and what we do, we go spend money to live somewhere where we're not appreciated and we're viewed as an outsider, and we never take that same money and build up where we at and make like a black neighborhood a popping place to live. Black neighborhoods get popping when outsiders come in and purchase it and change the dynamics, and it's no longer a black neighborhood or minority community. And they get it for cheap. Yeah. Like Jay-Z said in the rap song,
the Dumbo,
the Dumbo, right? He could have bought a building for $2 million, now it's worth $25 million.
Yeah,
but
we always catch the trends afterwards, but we're quick to stunt on someone with a fresh new gear, shoes, and stuff like that.
You want to go?
I would just say, it goes back to what we value. One, two, you said it earlier, it's a competition. So with other ethnicities, it's let's go live in the house together, 30 of us, so we can all buy houses,
Yeah.
Let's be roommates over here, so we can all have houses. With us is, I'm doing better than you, and I'm afraid that if I help you, you may be on my level, and now I can't stun as hard. Yeah. Like, that's foolishness.
Then I want to piggyback on both of y'all, so what y'all saying is, right? Prime example. The projects is the projects because people don't take care of it. If everybody was taking care of it, everybody cut their grass, everybody made sure there was no piss in the elevator, no piss in the hallways, and everything was clean, they would say, you know what, this ain't no projects no more. We got to rename it. People only care about that. So it's as minorities, we only care about ourselves. And we don't care about working together. It's like working against each other.
To come back what you're saying, I don't even... The misuse of the project, to me, what bothers me is that the project should be a stopgap. It should be like, you know what, it's low-income housing, so stay there, gather your bearings, and set up a plan. But people be like, yo, I'm only spending $117 on rent because of Section 8 and stuff like that. That means I got $1,500 for Balenciagas. That means I got $500 for a Ferragamo belt. I can drive the extra.
You have a 7 series and living in the projects. No disrespect. I see people do it all the time, and I'm like, when you gonna grow?
Yeah, it's true.
When you gonna grow? We don't work with each other. That's what's wrong with each other. Instead of us three saying, you know what, I'm doing good. I'm gonna help this brother. I'm gonna show him the way. And the problem is, this new generation, they don't listen. They don't listen.
So say your last comment on this topic, and then we gotta wrap it up.
Yeah, pretty much what you were saying. I got so thrown off what he was saying.
Yeah.
Wow, that's it. I'm gonna go with Cliff said, and I got thrown off.
My biggest thing, I'm gonna wrap up the topic, and then we can do a little shout outs because we gotta head out. Is this that I think we have to start putting our mindset in ownership, right? Because things that glitter, and I say that we're in full jury and stuff like that, but my mindset is always, how can I own this? How can I build a business mentality? You know what I'm saying? I don't have all the answers, but that's what I keep my mind working on. Like, we have to purchase property. We have to build communities, right? Because everywhere we go, we're being kicked out. So the only way we cannot be kicked out is if when we own it. You know what I'm saying? So thank you, guys. It was another good show. Now it's at the time where we do shout-outs before we head out. So we're going to let you shout out what you got going on, let people know how they can reach you and all that.
Well, I'm on Instagram at The Monroe Show, and my shout out will just be to everyone that's really grinding, working hard, and knowing that they're giving everything they got. Just keep going and just keep believing in yourself and just keep pushing. That's my shout
out. My shout out is to all my family and friends I care about, and also, like, I want to piggyback what Isaiah is saying, and also what Marv saying. Work together, not against each other. Good things will happen to you. Help somebody, and you never know how far you can go.
Okay. Very true. So my last shout out is going to be, I'd like to, send prayers and well thoughts to all the people who are being affected by Hurricane Irma, the people who was affected by Hurricane Harvey in Houston. I want to say one thing. My thoughts go out to you, my prayers go out to you, but I also want you guys to realize, once you get through to the struggle and you have the opportunity to, it's going to be a lot of communities that need to be rebuilt. take this time and opportunity to see if you can become a person who purchase a property and build it up and then start building communities. Sometimes through, tragic situations, there's a bounce back to it. So if we could bounce back, start building up these communities and have ownership, then our future will be bright. So I always say my view for the week is chase building a legacy and not liabilities. And we out. That's another issue of the Views from the Friend Zone podcast. Shout out to my boy Sensei. He should be back next week. We out. Peace.
Mm-hmm.